Redmond, Washington, a city pulsating with the rhythm of innovation, a haven for tech titans and dreamers alike. Towering steel and glass structures pierce the skyline, reflecting the ambitions housed within. Here, amidst the sprawling campuses and humming server farms, fortunes are made, dreams are realized, and the future is coded. Redmond, the Emerald City, shimmers with the promise of technological utopia. But even in this land of progress, shadows lurk, and obsession can twist the brightest minds. The air crackles with energy, fueled by caffeine and the relentless pursuit of the next breakthrough. Engineers huddle over glowing screens, their fingers dancing across keyboards, conjuring digital worlds from lines of code. Startup founders, fueled by venture capital and unwavering belief, pitch their visions with evangelical fervor. The streets buzz with Teslas and Priuses, ferrying the architects of the future between meetings and brainstorming sessions. Redmond is a crucible of creativity, a place where ideas are forged into reality at lightning speed. But beneath this veneer of progress, a darker undercurrent flows. The pressure cooker of innovation can breed obsession, turning ambition into a consuming fire. The relentless pursuit of success can warp perspectives, blurring the lines between admiration and fixation. In this land of opportunity, where dreams are realized and fortunes are won, the seeds of obsession can take root and flourish, leading to tragic consequences. For in Redmond, as in any human ecosystem, the human heart beats with its full spectrum of emotions, from the dizzying heights of love and triumph to the abyss of envy and despair. And sometimes in the shadows cast by glittering success, obsession festers, twisting admiration into something sinister and destructive. This is the story of two men caught in the vortex of Redmond's tech boom, their lives intertwined by the dark threads of stalking. Zor and Muhammad, two young programmers, arrived in Redmond with stars in their eyes and dreams bigger than the towering pines that ringed the city. They were the Golden Boys, the embodiment of Redmond's promise, their talent as bright and sharp as the silicon that powered their creations. They met at a hackathon, their fingers flying across keyboards, their minds in sync as they built an app that would revolutionize online education. Their creation, a platform that made learning accessible and engaging, was an instant success, catapulting them into the upper echelons of Redmond's tech elite. Their lives became a whirlwind of venture capital meetings, product launches, and speaking engagements. They graced magazine covers, their faces beaming with youthful optimism. Their story was the stuff of Redmond legend, a testament to the power of hard work, ingenuity, and the boundless opportunities of the tech industry. Zor, with his infectious enthusiasm and quick wit, was the charismatic frontman, while Muhammad, the quiet genius, remained the architect of their technological marvels. Together, they were an unstoppable force, riding the wave of Redmond's tech boom with seemingly effortless grace. Their success was a beacon, attracting admirers and opportunists alike. Among them was Ramin, a fellow programmer who had long admired Zor and Muhammad from afar. He attended their talks, devoured their interviews, and studied their code with a disciple's fervor. He saw in them everything he aspired to be: successful, innovative, and respected. Ramin, a shy and introverted young man, found himself drawn to Zor's radiant personality and Muhammad's quiet brilliance. He began to see them as mentors, as guiding stars in the vast constellation of Redmond's tech scene. But as time passed, Ramin's admiration began to morph into something more intense, more possessive. He started attending every event Zor and Muhammad were present at, his eyes constantly seeking them out in the crowd. He meticulously tracked their movements online, analyzing their social media posts and scouring the internet for any scrap of information about their lives. He began to see himself not just as a fan, but as a confidant, privy to their innermost thoughts and dreams. Ramin's admiration, once a source of inspiration, was slowly twisting into an unhealthy obsession. Ramin was always there, in the background, a quiet observer. He attended every conference, every hackathon, every meetup where Zor and Muhammad were present. He listened intently to their every word, absorbing their ideas, their dreams, their fears. At first, his presence was unremarkable, just another face in the crowd of admirers that flocked around the golden boys of Redmond. He never approached them directly, never sought their attention. He was content to simply be in their orbit, to breathe the same air, to occupy the same digital spaces. He devoured their blog posts, their tweets, their every utterance on the internet. He studied their code, marveling at their ingenuity, their ability to bend technology to their will. He saw in them everything he longed to be, brilliant, successful, admired. Ramin, in his own mind, was their biggest supporter, their most devoted fan. He felt a connection to them, a sense of kinship that transcended the physical distance between them. He believed he understood them, their motivations, their desires, better than anyone else. He saw himself as a silent partner, a shadow collaborator in their journey to greatness. And as his obsession grew, so too did his sense of entitlement. He felt he deserved a place in their lives, a seat at their table. He began to resent the others who surrounded them, the investors, the journalists, the other admirers who clamored for their attention. They were obstacles, distractions, preventing him from forming the deep, meaningful connection he craved. Ramin, the silent observer, was slowly transforming into something more insidious, a stalker lurking in the digital shadows. The first signs were subtle, easily dismissed as coincidence or the quirks of a dedicated fan. An unexpected email, praising their work with an almost unsettling intensity. A comment on their blog, echoing their thoughts with uncanny precision. A retweet, amplifying their message with an eagerness that bordered on obsessive. Zor and Muhammad, caught in the whirlwind of their success, barely registered these blips on their radar. But the blips became more frequent, more insistent. Ramin's online presence grew bolder, his comments more personal, his insights more intrusive. He seemed to know their schedules, their preferences, their vulnerabilities. They would mention a favorite restaurant in passing, and a day later a glowing review from Ramin would appear on its Yelp page. They would express frustration with a coding challenge, and hours later, Ramin would offer a solution, unsolicited and eerily accurate. At first, they were flattered, even amused by this ardent admirer. It was almost endearing, this unwavering support from a stranger. But a creeping unease began to settle in. A sense of being watched, of being known too well. The line between admiration and obsession was blurring, and the once charming quirks of a fan were taking on a darker, more sinister hue. The unease turned to alarm when Ramin's online presence spilled over into the physical world. They started seeing him everywhere they went, his face a pale blur in the background of their lives. At conferences, he would be there, lurking on the periphery of their conversations. At restaurants, he would be seated a few tables away, his eyes fixed on them with an unnerving intensity. Their once bright world was slowly being shrouded in a chilling shadow, the shadow of obsession. The creeping fear was like a virus, infecting their once unshakable confidence. Zor, always the optimist, tried to rationalize it away, attributing Ramin's behavior to overzealous fandom. "He's just a harmless fanboy," he'd say, forcing a chuckle. "We're in the public eye. It comes with the territory." But even as he uttered the words, a shiver of doubt would run down his spine. Muhammad, always the pragmatist, began to take precautions. He tightened their online security, scrutinized their social media presence, and limited their public appearances. He urged Zor to be more cautious, to share less, to be wary of the shadows that seemed to be closing in. But the more they tried to retreat, the more persistent Ramin became, his presence a constant reminder of the invisible hand that was tightening its grip on their lives. The weight of their success, once a source of exhilaration, now felt like a burden, a magnet attracting unwanted attention. The joy of creation, the thrill of innovation were slowly being choked by the suffocating grip of fear. The world they had built, the digital utopia they had envisioned, was now tainted by the specter of obsession. A stark reminder that even in the heart of technological progress, the darkness of the human heart could still hold sway. Their once unbreakable bond, forged in the fires of creativity and ambition, was beginning to fray under the strain. The shared dream that had brought them together was now overshadowed by a shared nightmare, a chilling reminder that the pursuit of success could come at a terrible price. The Golden Boys of Redmond, once symbols of hope and inspiration, were now trapped in a web of fear, their lives slowly unraveling under the relentless gaze of an unseen stalker. The fear became a constant companion, a whisper in the back of their minds that colored every interaction, every decision. They started seeing danger in every corner, suspicion in every glance. Their once vibrant social lives dwindled, replaced by a self-imposed isolation. The joy of creation, once their driving force, was now tainted with anxiety, the fear of further fueling Ramin's obsession. Their once unbreakable bond began to crack under the strain. Zor, desperate to maintain a semblance of normalcy, clung to his outward optimism, but the strain was evident in his forced smiles and nervous laughter. Muhammad, consumed by a gnawing fear, retreated further into himself, his silence a heavy weight in the room. The shared dream that had brought them together was now a source of tension, a constant reminder of the vulnerability that came with success. The whispers of fear seeped into their work, casting a pall over their once boundless creativity. The code they wrote, once a source of pride and excitement, now felt like a burden, a potential target for Ramin's scrutiny. They became hyper-aware of their online presence, every post, every comment, scrutinized for any hint of personal information that could further fuel Ramin's obsession. The digital world, once their playground, now felt like a minefield, every click a potential trigger for their stalker's attention. The fear became a self-fulfilling prophecy, isolating them from the very community that had once celebrated their success. They withdrew from conferences, avoided public appearances, and shied away from the media spotlight. The Golden Boys of Redmond, once the darlings of the tech scene, were now ghosts, their presence marked by absence, their story a cautionary tale whispered in hushed tones in the corridors of power. The Emerald City, once a beacon of hope and innovation, now held a sinister undercurrent, a reminder that even in the heart of progress, the darkness of human obsession could cast a long shadow. The revelation came in the form of a misplaced phone left behind in a coffee shop frequented by Zor and Muhammad. It was Ramin's phone, and its contents painted a chilling portrait of his obsession. Photos of Zor and Muhammad, candid shots taken from afar, filled the photo gallery. Their social media posts were meticulously archived, every word, every photo dissected and analyzed. Their schedules, their habits, their vulnerabilities were documented in meticulous detail. The phone revealed a mind consumed by obsession, a world distorted by a warped sense of intimacy and entitlement. It was a window into the dark underbelly of admiration, a chilling reminder that the line between fandom and stalking could be terrifyingly thin. The discovery sent a shockwave through Zor and Muhammad's lives, shattering their remaining illusions of safety. The stalker they had feared, the shadow that had haunted their steps, now had a name, a face, a history. The abstract fear they had been grappling with solidified into a tangible threat, a chilling realization that the danger they had sensed was all too real. The whispers of fear transformed into a cacophony of alarm, a siren song urging them to take action, to protect themselves from the darkness that had invaded their lives. The phone became a piece of evidence, a tangible manifestation of the invisible terror that had been plaguing them. It was a turning point, a catalyst for action, a signal that their silence could no longer be maintained. The Golden Boys of Redmond, once paralyzed by fear, were now galvanized by a newfound resolve, a determination to confront the stalker who had stolen their peace of mind and reclaim their lives.